The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry.
As a result, it appears that Katt Williams and Steve Harvey's feud may get physical. Katt recently reacted to Steve's public threats to knock him out. As you may recall, Katt had some very nasty things to say about Steve a few months ago when he called out everyone in the business and revealed the sinister activities that all of them had engaged in to become where they are today. Katt even went so far as to give specific names, and Steve was one of them. Katt Williams has never liked Steve Harvey. As many of you already know, he made it clear earlier this year when he attacked Steve for being a thief and an industry plan. It all started back in January of this year, when Katt appeared in an explosive interview with Shannon Sharpe and went off on his fellow comedians in the business, including Kevin Hart, entertainer Ricky Smiley, and Steve. But it looks like he was actually very much bothered and pressed because he recently chose to respond to Katt more than 7 months after Katt's interview.
Azon's never done his own tour in 30 years. Steve Harvey don't do stand-up no more. Cedric doesn't write. I'm sorry, he doesn't write. Ricky Smiley has been playing the same old black woman forever. Like, you can't get a young fan base with that.
In addition, Katt accused Steve of being jealous of the late Bernie Massachusetts and claimed that while Bernie was alive, Steve was against him, but after his death, he stole Bernie's entire style. Additionally, Katt accused Steve of being a talentless fraud and mentioned that there was a period of time when Steve used to go around telling people he wasn't interested in being a movie star. But in truth, no one wanted Steve in the movie because he was just a wannabe Bernie Ma.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good, baby, and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have range. I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there. Why? Because the whole time Bernie was here, you was acting like you was funnier than him. The reason you was supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. Not it was gonna be called the Kings of Comedy, it was Steve's tour. These are the guys opening for him. Of course you gotta close if it's your tour. That's why it was such a big deal.
He continued, however, saying that Steve had never been homeless and that he was actually making up to $3,000 per night touring with Mark Curry at the time he was lying to people in order to gain sympathy points from the public. Steve, according to Katt, has never been homeless in his life.
Less than you. This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless. That's my story. That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. When Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago, he was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week. They just tell the stories. Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her, then you went and married somebody else that think like a man. Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory.
Additionally, Katt charged Steve with accepting money purportedly from dubious figures in the business to keep quiet about certain problems. Additionally, Katt stated that the reason Steve stopped practicing stand-up comedy was because he severely embarrassed Steve in front of 10,000 people during a stand-up show a few years prior, severely damaging Steve's ego.
They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that part? What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star?
Following this conversation, many people were on the side of Katt. As you can understand, they flooded Steve's comments section, calling him out for being a fraud. At the time, Steve claimed to be above responding to Katt, so he shared this video of him discussing how people shouldn't give their haters the satisfaction of getting a reaction from them.
You gotta tell nobody nothing. All you gotta do is be it. You ain't gotta say, you don't have to open your mouth. You don't have to do it, man. He prepares a table in the presence of mine enemies. He do it all the time. All my haters, I ain't gotta say nothing to them. They got TV. They can cut their TV on 7 days a week. All that hating, he on there. Oh man, I don't even worry about it. You know, I've learned how to handle haters, man. And the only reason you have haters is because you're effective. You have haters for two reasons. You're doing something that they're jealous of, or God is preparing to take you somewhere and the devil is providing opposition. Those are the reasons you have haters. God is about to do something and the devil has to throw opposition. Those are the two reasons you have haters. I got plenty of haters. When I get them, man, I always look and see what God finna do. Like I got somebody really attacking me right now. I mean, really going after me, man. I'm just waiting to see what God gonna do. Cause they're gonna have to get on. Now, everybody that came after me before, you eventually had to get on. Cause they can't listen to me, man. Can't nobody stop what God got for you. And nobody, there ain't a man living can stop not one thing God got for you. Don't even worry about them haters, man. Just all you gotta do is just keep shining. They see you. You ain't got to say nothing. And plus, how they gonna hate if they don't watch? They on my Instagram page right now, watching, see what else. I don't even post nothing. I got people do that. I don't even, really. I can't stand you. You always. I ain't even post it, dog, tell you the truth. I just let them hate, man. And that's all you got to do, man. Just keep living your life.
Steve replied that he doesn't address haters if he were innocent of what has been said, because an innocent person would have used the code silence, which is how you address haters. But like I said, people could see through all that and they went off on him even more. One such person said that guilty people usually can't sit idle when the truth about them is aid to the public. Another person said, I'm not going to address the haters. Man spends next 2 minutes addressing the haters, saying, a whole lot of nothing, accused of being a snake to Bernie brings up God, get the F out of here. Well, it looks like people were right and that Steve's speech about not responding to the haters was just a low to be yes, that he was hiding behind to not have to address Katt, because after a whole 7 months of this interview being out, Steve is just now clapping back at Kay, and it's safe to say nobody was out here for his weak response. During a recent interview, Steve went on a rant about haters once again, and then he started going off on a particular hater that a lot of people assumed was Katt. He said none of his haters are doing better than him, and that the next time any of his haters mention him again, he's going back to his old ways and knocking them out now. Like already said, folks felt like Steve was a little too late to the party, and that he should have vented out all this medals, a new presidential candidate, and a partridge in a pear tree. Your answer is nice, but I'd like to know what you think. What do you guys think about Steve appearing to threaten the Katt? And do you think he was truly talking about cats and that you guys knew what to do? Please share your opinions in the space given below. And don't forget to check this link to watch this other extremely dirty video.